Hi everybody, it's Carla. I thought of crafting in a real relaxed manner today. I'm just sitting on my couch and I thought maybe you'd like to join me and craft and chat. So if you'd like to, I'm going to make sort of a duplicate of my fairy wall hanging that I made for I made one for Evie Faladew when she had her challenge, and I just had so much fun making those wall hangings. And the particular image that I used is my favorite image, and I want to show you some of the options that you can have for making the copies of the images. The first one was this one, and it didn't print very well. I bought this, it's inkjet paper, I guess, or fabric that you can put through your printer, and it didn't print the image very well. It was very faint on this fabric. And then this is the image with just going through the copier, but I didn't realize when I printed this one on my copier, my magenta color was low. So you can kind of see a lot of the greens and yellows, but the bluish, purplish undertones don't come through very well. And then there's this other process where you can take Mod Podge, let's see if you can reach my Mod Podge, and brush it onto the image and then stick it down to fabric. And the fabric I used is just this lightweight cotton fabric. It's kind of like pillowcase material, and I ironed it and then I stuck it down. And I've done this type of image transfer before, and the best way to do it is to stick it down and let it rest overnight. If you didn't see, I'm just pouring a little bit of water, and then you just kind of let it soak on there. And because it doesn't take much, I'm kind of spreading it between both images. I really like this process. So I sometimes will just put the water on and walk away for 5 or 10 minutes and let it really soak through. So I'll move this for now. And then the actual, I'm going to insert a photo of the wall hanging so you can see where I'm going with this. But I started out by just taking a doily, and I sewed on my sewing machine some cheesecloth, and this is a tea-dyed doily. And then I sewed some felt on the back to give it some stability, help it be a little more sturdy. And then I took another doily and dyed it this really mossy color green, which I love. And I'm going to glue this down on top, and just going to use some hot glue. I'm going to use glue because it helps make it a little more sturdy, and I don't want to see the stitching on the front of this particular one. I suppose I could have cut some of the middle of that doily out, but I'm going to leave it just like this and press it down. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then I cut out, if I can find it, a circle of canvas here that I'm going to stick down as well. So I'm just kind of prepping this so that I can put my image down. And people do, there's many different ways. So I'm not claiming that this is a tutorial. I'm just wanting you to craft with me. Because I kind of do it my way, and I think most crafters kind of find the way that works best for them. So that's going to be my where I mount my picture, and then I have some felt that I'm going to put the photo on top of to just give it a little height. a little padding. Okay, so now we can go back to showing you how to take the image off. And it's just as simple as starting to rub it in a circle. This paper might be a little too tough. Yeah, this one's going to start lifting off more easily. And this one, it really depends on the type of photo paper or copier paper that you print it on, how easily the paper will roll off. So I'm going to leave this one to soak a little more. And this one I can start rolling the paper off right away. So it's a little messy, but I just love processes, so I don't mind. And if you can see, you just start rubbing and it starts lifting off. So I've watched some tutorials on YouTube with this process, and they say you're basically taking off one layer of the paper at a time. So I'm going to roll all of this off, and then I'll come back and show you how far I've gotten. So you can see the image is definitely coming through, and I'll be right back. So I spent some time rubbing off the layer of paper, and it does look a little ashy where the paper was. The other thing is when you roll it off, you can roll some of the image off, but for this type project where it's kind of enchanting, I kind of like that like halo effect. And then the last thing I do is just take a little bit of Mod Podge on a brush, and it makes the image a little more vibrant. So I'm going to brush this on, and it dries really fast. It's just a super light coating of it, because I don't like the image to feel real plasticky, and if you put a lot, it kind of gives it a plastic feel. And that's it. Now it's going to dry in literally a couple minutes, and it's not completely dry, but dry enough to handle. And then I'm going to cut it out to fit my little doily here, and then we can start embellishing it, which is always the most fun part, I think. So I'm going to let that dry a second. While I'm letting this dry, I thought I could put my dangles on, and I have all kinds of dangles from, let me move this so you can see it better, just articles of clothing that I upcycle. Like for instance, this one is from a scarf. I'm working in browns and greens because I want this to look sort of like it's in the forest. And the image of my fairy, I call her the nighttime fairy, because she's out at night just gazing up at the stars. So I want to put some layers of ruffle and trim. And there's one I really like to use, and then there's this one that I like to put in. This is from a skirt. So I'm going to go ahead and glue some of those down. And these are just really to add some height and layers, because for me fabric crafting is really fun because of all the layers of fabric that we can use. And I really like using the shabby recycled ruffles. Now this one was like satin. I think it was from a decorative pillow, and then I just zigzag stitched around to keep it from fraying so much. My glue gun is an old one, so I don't have a really nice fine tip on it. That just kind of came out splotchy, but we can fix that. And then I didn't go around the edges all the way with the exact same trim, because I kind of want it to be different as you look around it. So I'm not going to put the exact same trim. Like this is a braided loopy kind of trim. It may have been from the same decorative pillow. And then let's see if I have any more of that. I kind of like that. Oh, yeah, I've got a little bit more here. So I'll put some of this here. Like so. And that's good for that. Okay, and then I'm going to add some of my dangles. I was watching, who was I watching? She said to start with the longer ones first, which makes sense, but I don't know why I didn't think of that. Maggie, that's her name, Maggie, was doing a doily wall hanging tutorial. So I love watching everybody create. So we've got that one on. That's a little more than I need. So we'll snip it. Oops. There we go. And, ew. Do you guys find that some glue sticks are stringier than others? This could be because I'm sitting under the ceiling fan and it's drying it as fast as I squeeze it out. I guess that could definitely be an issue. Let's see. I have some beads. I think I used these in my gypsy book. I think it'd be fun to use these here as well. Just gonna trim it a teeny bit. So I have taught pottery classes for many years, and part of teaching is doing your beginning demo for the class. Most of my classes were women, some men. We had such a wonderful time in class, and one time all of the ladies were going around saying what made them want to take the class, and she said, "Oh, my husband recently retired and he's always home, so I needed to get out of the house." And then there were some men there who said, "Oh, I just recently retired and my wife wanted me to find something to do to get out of the house." So it's kind of funny. Anyway, I like teaching. I actually love teaching, and I must miss it because I'm sitting here talking to a camera and there's nobody here but me. And I'm not really teaching, but I really am having fun crafting lately just because I want to, even though I absolutely loved doing it as a job. It's so freeing to just do it because I want to. And so this is fun. So I have on now a couple layers of dangle. You can see that. And then the last one I'm gonna put on is, oops, that's a big string. Okay, I'm not digging these glue strings here. Next time I will turn the ceiling fan off. And so then this last one I really like because it's a cotton fabric crocheted lace dangles. It's got these little leaves on it, which lend themselves perfectly to my Enchanted Forest fairy wall hanging. So I'm not going to stick that one down yet. I think I want to keep doing a little bit more. I think I can actually do my image now. Yeah, I can. So you see my fairy, you see how this is my gazing fairy. I think she's just so cute looking up like that. So I'm going to trim around it. Uh-oh. My phone's ringing, but I don't know where my phone is. Oh. There it is. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to place my image on. And rather than bore you, I will get this all set up and come right back. Okay, so I have my image trimmed, and I've pulled out a bunch of other ruffles and trims here, as you can see, but I'm just gonna mount this on top of my felt piece that's under here. You know, I should turn this so she looks, well, I don't know. We'll see. Hold on, guys. Anyway, I'm going to mount this on top of the felt, like so. And then I've got some crocheted lace embellishments that I can stick down around her. Let's see. I hope I made it straight. Oh, that's not bad. So I had some trims that I like, but you know how if they're straight, see if I can, they don't wrap around the image very well, especially if it's thick. So like this one, it's a slightly thicker crocheted piece, so I put a running stitch in it, just one. And then I'm going to draw it up a little bit here, I hope. There we go. Just gathering it a little bit so it'll wrap around the circle a little better. And again, I'm not going to make it go all the way around. A lot of the thickness is down here now because of the dangles that I put on. So this particular piece of ruffle, I'm just going to put on the top. But I'm not trying to be matchy-matchy. But I am having fun just mixing and matching different textures and neutral colors. So now I have this one. Just going to double check. Yeah, so now I have that trim. And what else? Maybe this one. I like this one. This one is a really pretty green. And I might be able to fit this one all the way around. We'll see. Oh, I'm going to trim my little ruffles threads off first. And let's see here. So when I get things from the thrift store, I envision the laces and ruffles on my projects. And I've gotten a lot of use out of this really pretty green one that I'm putting down right now. And that one didn't quite make it all the way around, but that's okay, because I also have this really sparkly ribbon, and it doesn't need to go all the way around, so I'm just going to put a little cluster of it right here to finish that off. And it's kind of like netting almost, but because it's so thin, I'm just gonna kind of put some glue down and gather it as I stick it down, which means I'll probably burn my fingers a little, but that's okay. not too much. Oh, let's start this way, like so. Yeah, so I'm just kind of looping it, and hopefully it'll show through a little bit. So there's a little bit of the green sparkly. You can see that. I'm going to lay it kind of flat. Oh, I like that. And then I want to frame the image with a little bit of this scallop lace maybe. Well, actually, on the one I made for Evie, I used these. I don't know if I like those or not. I think I'll frame it with this. Yeah, I like this better. Oops. Need another glue stick. Okay, so I'm gonna frame this with this scalloped trim, because I love my scallops, and I'll be right back to show you after I'm finished. Okay, so I'm not sure where I left you, but I had this really pretty sequined piece of trim that I cut off of a scarf, and I wanted to add some of this for sparkle, because fairies definitely need to have some shimmer and sparkle. So I have this shorter piece that I gathered using a straight stitch on my sewing machine, and I'm just going to layer this underneath. Boy, these glue sticks go fast. I had been using mostly fabric glue, but I wanted it to stick down a little faster today, so I'm going to use the hot glue. I'm going to try to tuck this in, because I kind of want it, I don't want it to be real prominent, but I want it to give off some shimmer, like so. So I'm going to tuck that under there, and then fold this back. There we go. So there'll be a little bit of shimmer hiding under there. And I can trim off my gathering threads. Okay. And then I have another one that I can gather up. So I'm basically just ruffling it so that it will wrap around in a circle. I really liked making this in the shape of a circle instead of a rectangle wall hanging. So I have this gathered now, and I just did one line of straight stitching. I didn't need to do two. It does make it get a little twisted, but that's a quick fix. Okay, and so then I'm going to tuck, oops, pieces overboard. I'm going to tuck these under here, I do believe. And if you're bored, trust me, I understand if you've already left me. I just wanted to craft and chat. But I'm actually running out of time myself. I like to sit here as if I can craft all day. But I have a dog that needs walking and laundry that needs to go from the washer to the dryer and all that good stuff. But it was fun to get a little bit of a break. I'm going to go ahead and stick this down and put a few more things on, and I'll show you what I ended up with. Well, everyone, I'm back. I managed to sit here long enough to putz and finish my second nighttime Enchanted Forest fairy wall hanging. I hope you can see it okay. I put the, this one has a handmade butterfly. I had a little nylon one in the original one that I made, but I kind of like the handmade one a little better. And there's just her kind of gazing up at it. And then these are the dangles that I put on the bottom. And there's lots and lots of layers again. See if I can show you all the layers. There's cheesecloth. I have such gluey fingers here. And I did a lot of layering of fabrics for the flowers. I'm going to try to get some of this glue off. Oh my. And I put some of the little rhinestones for some shimmer. And so it's finished. I wanted to go ahead and get it all done in one setting, and I am 30 seconds away from needing to go walk my dog. He knows what time it is, so I wanted to just finish it off and show you the final product. And thank you for watching with or visiting with me while I crafted. These colors are all to just kind of bring out what I would think I'd see in an enchanted forest at night. So that's why it's all the earthy tones that I love. And no, there's not usually probably a butterfly at night, but in my enchanted forest there is. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and I look forward to crafting with you again soon. Bye-bye.